Okay, wanted to do a couple quick questions. I had someone ask for some help on 3 problems on homework 1, so I thought I'd go ahead and just kind of post my solutions to those 3 problems. If anybody's got other questions, let me know. We can go through them together, or I can again post a video like this. So first question was on number 3, and I'm gonna throw this out there. This was Jaden had a question on this one. So Jaden, I looked at your work and it looks like you did everything right. So I wasn't 100% sure of what your question was. Let me know if I don't cover it. But basically, I just want to tell if it's arithmetic, geometric, or neither, and then fill in these 2 missing terms. So to get from 18 to 22, I would have to add 4. To get from 22 to 26, I also have to add 4. So if I'm adding 4 each time, this is definitely an arithmetic sequence because we're adding each time. And to fill in those missing terms, if I do 26 plus 4, we get 30, and 30 plus 4 is 34, and then 34 plus 4 would give us 38. So Jaden, if there's something I didn't cover there, let me know if that's something else that you need to figure out. Okay, the other 2 were actually good questions, and they were 2 problems that I think are a little bit more challenging. Okay, so number 11 was one that was asked about. And this one, we are just trying to come up with the next 2 terms by figuring out the pattern in this sequence. So it does say that looking at the pattern and the differences between the terms, lost my directions, there it is. So differences between the terms. So I am looking for, what am I adding or subtracting here? So that's one kind of clue there. So I just start writing out the pattern. And Jaden, again, on this one, I think you had the first number wrong, and that's why you may have not been able to figure out the pattern. To get from 1 to 3, I'd have to add 2. And Jaden, I think you had a plus 3 there, so that might have just been a little silly mistake. To get from 3 to 7, I've got to add 4. To get from 7 to 15, that's a plus 8. And then to get from 15 to 31, that's a plus 16. If you don't recognize that pattern, the 2, 4, 8, 16, those are all powers of 2. This is 2 to the first power, 2 squared, 2 cubed, 4th. So the next couple terms, I'd want to then do a 2 to the 5th and a 2 to the 6th. So 2 to the 5th power means, I'm going to add 32. 2 to the 6th power means I'm going to add 64. So to get my next 2 terms, 31 plus 32 would be 63, and then 63 plus 32 will give us 127. So there's our next 2 terms for that sequence. And that was a little bit more challenging, but hopefully you were able to see that pattern there. Okay, and then there's number 13. This one is a little bit harder, especially if you've never heard of this one before, but this is one of my favorites. Tell you all about why it's my favorite, but I might post a little video about it just in case, you need some extra stuff to watch during this lovely break where now we can't go anywhere. So I'll give you something to do. But it's called the Fibonacci sequence. There's a series of videos that is just really great on all this stuff that I'll put up for you guys if you want to watch them, or I'll email them to you. But basically, again, we're looking for the pattern and how the numbers are changing. So I'm just going to write out the differences. From 1 to 1, I'm not changing at all, so I'm adding 0, right? To get from 1 to 2, I'm going to add 1. To get from 2 to 3, again, I'm going to add 1. To get from 3 to 5, I'd have to add 2. From 5 to 8, I'd have to add 3. And then from 8 to 13, I'd have to add 5. Okay, so that was a little bit different. Like, it doesn't seem like there's any kind of pattern going on there. And here's what it is, if you haven't been able to figure it out. We're going to add together the 2 previous changes to get the next change. So if I do 0 plus 1, I get 1, right? If I do 1 plus 1, I get the plus 2. If I do 1 plus 2, I get 3. If I do 2 plus 3, I get 5. So to get the next change, I'm going to add 3 plus 5, which will give me a change of plus 8. And then the next one, I'm going to do 5 plus 8, which gives me a change of plus 13. So to get our next two terms in this well-known Fibonacci sequence, I would do 13 plus 8, which will give us 21. And then I'm going to do 21 plus 13, which will give us 34. And then you could keep going from there. If I did 8 plus 13, that'd give you the next change, and that would give you the next term in the Fibonacci sequence. Again, lots of cool applications of that sequence. If I have some time tomorrow, I will try to put up some videos about that stuff. There's some really neat ones out there if you feel like watching them. Hope this helps. If you got other questions, please let me know.